Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. So which one is it? Is it a desperate Congress which is pretty much at the fringes in Uttar Pradesh, trying to revive its fortunes in Uttar Pradesh through the roadmap of a constituency which is women? Or is this a game changer? Because every time we've seen political parties go out in terms of SOPs, in terms of incentives, where women are concerned, but never quite giving them due political representation. The Congress says it's going to do so with 40% of tickets for women. Every political party panders to the woman vote in SOPs, in incentives, in poll promises, but never in political representation. The woman vote bank in every election, always the kingmaker, never the king. But in the tectonic election of Uttar Pradesh 2022, the Congress party has chosen to ink its revival roadmap through the most unpredictable constituency, women, by making an unprecedented political announcement.
आने वाले विधानसभा चुनाव में उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस पार्टी 40% टिकट महिलाओं को देगी। हमारी प्रतिज्ञा है कि महिलाएं उत्तर प्रदेश की राजनीति में पूरी तरह से भागीदार होंगी।
Betting big on the woman vote, the Congress hopes to set the poll agenda in a state where elections are fought on the metrics of religion and caste. So is the Congress looking to break the mold? Or is a desperate party facing an existential crisis looking to stay relevant?
एक इनकलाब आया है जो कभी नहीं समझता होगा कि मुझे ये मौका मिल सकता है, मुझे भी ये अधिकार मिल सकता है, उसको ये अधिकार मिलेगा। आज ये इनकलाबी कदम लिया गया। अब जब भी इनकलाब आता है तो उथल-पुथल होती है और उसमें टूट-फूट होती है, उसके बाद नया निर्माण होता है।
एक बात समझना चाहिए कि ये जो परिवार के घोंसले और पप्पू के चोचलों में सिमटी और सिकुड़ी हुई पार्टी है, उसको एक बात समझना चाहिए कि इस तरह की ठिठोलियों से, इस तरह के जो है पॉलिटिकल रंगोलियों से जो है वो उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों को प्रभावित नहीं कर सकते।
The last big election, the woman vote is one of the key pillars on which rests Mamata Banerjee's spectacular win. Moreover, hard data clearly suggests why Congress has embarked on Mission Mahila in UP. Election Commission data shows the gap between men and women voter numbers is narrowing in places where fewer women used to venture out. In Uttar Pradesh, for instance, 40% more men voted than women in 2007 assembly elections. The gap halved to just 20% in 2012 and further came down to a mere 11% in 2017. In politics, the inequity of distribution of power is stark. Women comprise 50% of voters, but women are just 10% of the candidates in any state going to polls. Women representation, even in the current 17th Lok Sabha, is just 14.4%. Women representation in political parties is abysmal as well. Look at the Congress itself. In the CWC, the Congress Working Committee, CWC has 20 members, including the President, but just 3 women: Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Ambika Soni. Political parties have realized the power of the woman vote. It's crucial, it's unpredictable, it has been the X factor in most recent elections. 40% tickets reserved for women in UP by Congress is historic. But the question is this a gimmick to push flagging political fortunes, or will this be a game changer? Bureau Report, India Today. All right, so what we've done is we're going to steer clear of political spokesperson in this debate. We're going to go to ace political analysts. We're going to gauge the announcement. How big is it? Will it have any role in the coming elections where Congress is concerned? Let's cut across to our panelists. I'll be joined very shortly with Manisha Priyam. I have right now Swati Chaturvedi, and in a short while I'll also be joined by my colleague, our National Affairs Editor, Rahul Srivastava. Swati, how do you look at it? Because it's a huge announcement, most looking at it as possible gimmickry. Do you reckon it could be a game changer?
Well, I don't know, Preeti. First of all, it's good to be always on your show. But first of all, I don't know how seriously to take Priyanka Gandhi as a politician, because UP is a state where the Congress practically has no skin in the game. If they had made this announcement for Punjab or for Uttarakhand or Goa, even where they have a stake, where they have a vote. Now you cannot. I mean, we both of us know, and as all journalists also know, that women representation in this country is abysmal. We've seen the fate of the Women's Reservation Bill, how, male MPs jeered and mocked at it and said, Parkati Mahilaye le jayengi and all of that. So, I would love to see a polity which has more women, but those women have to be actual, people who want to participate, not somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, somebody's widow. No offense to any of those people, but that cannot be the route for women in politics. And we've seen in panchayats and all, where women are reduced to being tokens, they're totems. The men rule in their stead, they fight the election and they sit at home. But the women's vote in India is significant. We've seen Nitish Kumar, when he did that whole cycle scheme and when he brought in prohibition in Bihar, the women overwhelmingly voted for him. So yes, Indian women have a say. Indian women want to participate, but what's really holding them back, again, as in most cases in India, is the patriarchy.
Manisha, Prem, I want to bring you in as well in this conversation. For reason enough, Swati also seems to think that there's a lot of gimmickry attached to this. If, the Congress was serious enough, there's a state like Punjab where, they actually have a stake of forming government to maybe look at that. But to make an announcement in Uttar Pradesh, and for example, your own CWC, in a 20 male member panel, you have 3 representatives which are women and 2 of them are Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi.
And Ambika Soni is retired.
Yes.
So, let me tell you, Preeti, that Priyanka Gandhi started the last innings in politics in 2019 when she looked like the Congress chief for Eastern UP. She started this through the route of a feminine deity, the Vindhyavasini Devi Vindhyachal temple. Now, this time around, she seems to have put that card aside and she seems to be pitching her wagons to the protests that the farmers have led and the unfortunate incidents that have led to deaths in Lakhimpur Kheri. And after that, you have this coming. So this time around, she wants to play issue-based politics. She wants to be there, out there. She wants to have the image of a struggler. Rightly so. Any political party should be doing it. But this announcement has come a day too late in the life of the assembly election. The innings for women's representation in the Vidhan Sabha now has a steady anchor. You first need to pitch it at the panchayat level, at the Zilla Parishad level. So in the recently held panchayat and Zilla Parishad elections, it was the BJP and Samajwadi Party battling it out. Now, the Congress was clearly absent there. So the Congress had not thought of this representation issue when these elections were happening, the local elections. Now the Congress has thought of this. So at the panchayat level, the seats have been taken up by either the BJP or the SP that were in the forefront.
But Ms. Priyam, an interesting, I'll play out those graphics as well, because we were breaking out, we looked at the panchayat level data, and those are possibly the hard data, and one of the reasons why Priyanka Gandhi has said what she has. Because if you look at the panchayat level data, over 50% representation is women who have actually won in UP this time around.
No, but that representation is divided. So that representation is divided between the Samajwadi Party largely and the BJP. For Priyanka Gandhi now to give 120 tickets, if she's saying 40% in assembly elections, clearly these representatives will probably not be her candidates. So her women candidates will be those who are active youth in colleges, but they will not even be panchayat representatives. The other hard fact is that UP, even in the panchayats, unlike even in states like Jharkhand, where women's representation has become a reality, in Uttar Pradesh, we hear the story of pradhanis, pati pradhans, mukhya pati, etc. So, in a situation where there are 2 issues, one, already the BJP and the SP have done even Steven, they have fought their battles. The Congress now comes and says we will have women's representation. Clearly, they will have to put these women who are possibly affiliated with either of these big player parties, and they'll have to get another cachet of rural women. The other issue is that given the nature of politics in UP,
these women happen to be those who are protected by their men, by their families. So Priyanka Gandhi will end up then, if you draw a Venn diagram, she will end up attracting young girls who are probably even from sea-glade cities. The rural representation base of the Congress party is not very strong. The Congress party should have pitched it at the time of the Panchayat elections. The second part is that even in the student union elections, you know, the universities in Uttar Pradesh are recruiting grounds for young politicians. What I have seen, it's the Samajwadi Party battling it out with the BJP. So you've got very active students unions right there. So my issue will be, having made the announcement in front of the television cameras, how will she back it up to ground level and backward chain linking? JDU, for example, has done it in the panchayat level. The vote bank has suddenly not emerged. I can go back to you and tell you how in Tamil Nadu, for example, another kind of politics of welfareism was played to be able to build women into a vote bank. In Telugu, this thing, N.T. Ramarao mixed charisma with welfare politics. So which of these types of anchor politics will she play? How will she do the backward linkages? I think there are questions there, and those need to be asked.
You know, we're going to come right back. I'm going to come right back to Swati and you, because you know, we're going to look at it from the other side. Is it also a brick in the larger wall of women empowerment? Because till now, women have always been the king maker of sort, but never quite the king. So we will talk about that, but I want to bring in Rahul Srivastava very quickly into this conversation. Rahul Srivastava, the fact is there are too many loose ends, no, here. You don't know whether the Congress is in alliance with someone, how many seats will they be fighting for. Where Priyanka Gandhi herself is concerned, she's still hedging whether she's going to fight or not.
Yes, Preeti, there are lot many ifs and buts after the Congress has announced it. But I think eventually, if you see, there has been a recognition around for some time now that women voters are a constituency of their own. And the Ujjwala scheme, the Avasiya Yojana, and several others by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Kamal Sakhi clubs formed in all districts, the Mahila Chaupals by BJP all over Uttar Pradesh, are basically attempts to identify and address that very constituency. Samajwadi Party in its own tenure gave cycles to women and the girl child. These are recognition that yes, women are important. Bihar in Nitish Kumar, for example, set the trend by giving appropriate number of seats at the grassroots level, at the grassroots elections, because he identified women as a voter, as a separate entity, which is not likely to be as easily swayed by the caste and other compulsions, perhaps drawn more by development and security and safety and other issues than their male counterpart voters. And that is why there is an effort by Priyanka Gandhi, and definitely it may not succeed, but I will say that it is at least a big template on the wall now. 40% Congress party, Uttar Pradesh elections reserved. But then comes the real part. One, the Congress cadres, do they have the leaders, 40% of them, who can take those, grab those seats? Or you will recruit, as Manisha is saying, people who are the ticket seekers from parties disappointed and they join the Congress party, or absolute newbies. Now, who do you hurt there? Now, that's where lies the real Congress issue, that will the Congress gamble really kick?
You know, Swati, I know you want to make a point, but add to it the question that I'm asking you next. The Congress has nothing quite to lose right now where Uttar Pradesh is concerned. But what I was talking about and what Rahul also said, will it set a larger template for national politics? Because every political party understands the value of the woman vote, where they'll do that much, but that's that.
Well, I don't want to use that term, but this is virtually what you're saying is going to be like a Me Too movement in politics, because, you know, clearly we've seen the women's reservation bill just capsize, and we've had parties like the BSP, you know, led by Mayawati, who's been a four-term CM of UP. We've got Mamata Banerjee, Chief Minister of Bengal. We had Sonia Gandhi for all the UPA years. Despite all the protestations of, you know, let us remove this glass ceiling, let us, you know, dent this glass ceiling, let us break it, it has not broken so far. And where women are concerned, Preeti, I'd like to draw your attention to two, three things here. One, the attitude towards women in politics remains despite being a woman, which is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said about the leader of Bangladesh, or Yogi Adityanath, for instance, who's written in his own blog that women should stay at home, have children, and not to harness a woman's energy. Now, these are the daunting realities that we are facing. Women in politics in India is a big if. You need to have a very powerful mentor, or be from a political family, or be somebody's legatee, somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's widow. Otherwise, for women, ordinary women, real women who actually want to participate in politics, it's extremely difficult. And if they've done this in UP, Priyanka Gandhi is playing wild cards in UP because they really don't have any skin in the game. So yes, it's a spectacular announcement, but if this is going to lead to any real sustained change is what we have to monitor. Because why would not Priyanka Gandhi make this announcement for Punjab? That's also going to the polls, or for Uttarakhand, or even for Goa, where, you can actually say that that's a small state, let's try it there. Why UP? You have a state where there's an entrenched patriarchy. So why UP?
All right, Manisha Prem, you wanted to come in, quick comments, and then I'm going to quickly close the show.
So I think Priyanka Gandhi is definitely, as Rahul said, made a template for herself. Filling in the colors will be extremely difficult. Remember, what Priyanka Gandhi is doing at this point of time, hypothetically, is she's adding on to the fact that while the BJP has an overarching narrative of Hindutva and development politics, which Prime Minister Modi himself is now, the face of, given his huge rally that you've seen where he's announced his schemes, Priyanka Gandhi and others will be pitching at issue-based politics. Priyanka Gandhi, if she succeeds in the best case scenario, will be able to get the biodata, the CVs of many more women aspirants, and may be able to build a clean database of wannabe women politicians from, who may want to connect with her. But at this point of time, I would still insist that the Congress's announcement has come without adequate homework, a day too late,
Rahul, definitely this is not going to set the poll agenda, but will it start a conversation at all? Where what Priyanka Gandhi said today, especially where Uttar Pradesh is concerned, or ultimately is going to be on the metrics of caste, religion, and with what we've seen.
Preeti, I totally agree with Swati when she says that why not Punjab? Perhaps this is the only place where the Congress has virtually no stakes, and the Congress can create that template, as I was saying earlier. Why I say that? Last time around 63.5% of the women voters voted more than the male counterparts, while they are less than 50% of the voters in UP. Now that's where lies a catch. Can that become, attract some voters at least, and give the Congress some benefit for doing something different than what others are?
Well, we'll only know when that last vote is counted, and especially how the campaign unfolds in the next 5 months. Appreciate all three for joining us. Thank you there. With that, I'm going to quickly wrap the show. On the other side is my colleague Gaurav Sawant.